Tegan Burns from the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, and you're watching The ARROYO Show.
Come on in and welcome to You Get Comfortable. This is The ARROYO Show. My name is Brandon Arroyo. If it's your first time here, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. What a guest we have for you today. You can see her on the Mighty Ducks Game Changer, which is airing now on Disney+. New episodes each and every Friday. Please welcome TAEGEN Burns. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
This is like a super early morning interview, so thank you for waking up and chatting with us. Do you have school today? Are we keeping you from homeroom or anything?
No, but I think I gotta catch up on some.
All right, so let's talk about the performance that we've seen with your character so far. It's kind of been one of those like subtle performances, right? So you can tell in the beginning of the episode isn't exactly comfortable with the group of friends that she has or the clique that she's in. And she is sort of feeling like going off with this group of people that are starting this new hockey team, but she's not sure if she's ready to leave that clique behind because it's kind of the popular group of people. Can you talk to me about just that, the sort of subtleties in that performance that you had there in that first episode?
Well, Maya, she is part of the popular girl group at school, and when she knows inside that she doesn't feel like she wants to be here and she wants to find a new group of friends, but she doesn't know where to start. So when Evan kind of has this opening for like a new team and everything, it's kind of like, oh, that's her chance to go. So she's like, oh, I could go, but then she kind of gets shut down and stuff by the other girls. And it's like, no, I think we're good. Like, we're not joining. And then she's like, oh, I don't know if I want to join or should I go and stuff. And then she finally finds her voice and she finally is like, I'm going to do it. But then there's that moment of like, wait, can I go? Is it okay? Can I go? So you kind of see her find her voice, kind of lose it, and then you'll see her gain it back throughout the rest of the series.
And we do end up seeing her make a huge decision at the end of this episode where she stands up in front of the whole lunchroom, which is not an easy thing to do, and says, you know what? I am going to leave this group that I'm not happy with. I am going to join the Don't Bothers. And that's kind of something that takes a lot of courage to do. Can you think of any moments in your life that took a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to, make a decision to pursue something that you were passionate about?
I feel like everyone has those moments in their life, and I feel like for me, a moment of courage could be, I do get nervous a lot, and especially for me, I get very nervous, like speaking up in front of people, and like kind of like I'm shy, I'd say. So I think for me, kind of even going into auditions or callbacks or anything, and like when they're in person and stuff, I feel like it's kind of like all those nerves are inside of you, like, okay, do you have your lines? Do you know your lines? Like, can you do this? And it's kind of like, okay, just forget about all that and just go and do it. And it's kind of like a moment of like just kind of getting rid of all of that and then just being like, I got this, I can do this, and we got this.
Now, I would imagine this was impacted by COVID. Did this film at the beginning of 2020, or how long has it been since you guys shot this?
Well, we started in February of last year, but then we got shut down for 6 months. And then we started back up in August and then filmed to the end of December. So it's been a while since seeing, especially the pilot, like the first episode's footage, that I like completely had forgotten about and like hadn't seen. So seeing that again, I had like all of these memories and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember filming that and that scenes. And it was crazy to see that.
I would imagine there would be several moments that you look back on and say, oh my gosh, I remember that happening, or I remember that day on set. Maybe that iconic moment where you all walked out on the ice for the first time together as the Don't Bothers. I think you were wearing like an equestrian's hat or something. Was that right?
Yeah. Like watching back that whole thing, there are a lot of scenes that I kind of just somehow I didn't completely forget them, but kind of just didn't think of them and like the main scenes that I remembered. And like you said, like that whole the day of going on to the ice and kind of meeting and seeing like the Ducks and all the teams on team day, I kind of didn't really remember that as much. And I was like the whole thing of us looking up and they're like, this is like hardcore, this is most likely going to get hurt. And like, I remember all of us looking up at the screen and seeing all of that craziness happen. And I remember that. I was like, oh my goodness, I remember that, like seeing that happen. And it's pretty cool looking back.
For many people all over the world, being a part of a Disney Plus show, a Disney Channel show, a Disney movie is a real dream come true. For you, you now get the opportunity to watch yourself, and you don't even have to wait on to what time does it come on during the day. You don't have to wait for it to what time it reveals in the movie theater. You can watch it on demand on Disney Plus anytime that you want to. What is it like for you to be able to look at yourself and have that dream be a reality, that you are a Disney character, you are a Disney actor right now in your life?
I don't think I can really wrap my head around it, because I got Disney Plus around when it first came out, which I think was like maybe 1 or 2 years ago. And so to finally be on it and like go from just getting it and watching other shows to actually going on there and seeing myself on it, that's like insane to me. And just to think how different it is now. And I'm on Disney Plus and I can see myself there. That's pretty crazy.
All right. Always one of my personal favorite moments of the interview. Do you remember your booking story, who you were with, what you had going on when you found out that you were going to be cast in The Mighty Ducks?
I think it had been like maybe a week since I'd flown out to LA for my in-person callback. And it was really that day, that morning, I'd asked my mom, I was like, hey, have you heard anything? Like, it's like taking forever. It's like, and then once you get to a certain point, you're like, oh, I probably didn't even book it. Like, it's taking forever. But my mom had known at that point, and I guess she was like, oh, no, haven't heard anything. But later that day, I was with my mom in the kitchen, and I was just sitting at the table, and my agent was supposed to already call me that day just to talk to me. So I was like, okay, it's nothing new. It's like my agent's just calling me. So my mom kind of put the phone on the table and she's like, oh, they're on the line. And they're like, TAEGEN? I'm like, hi. And they're like, okay, we have some news. And you can never get like, is it good news? Is it bad news? And they're like, you booked it. And I just remember freaking out, like thinking that I was going to be able to be on this Disney Plus TV series for Mighty Ducks and the revival of it. Like, that was so insane to me and just exciting.
All right, as we begin to wind down the interview, we have something called the Final Five. They're the last 5 questions of the interview, and they are all about you right now. The first question is, who do you speak with the most each day right now?
Mainly my family, but if I had to narrow it down, my oldest brother. He just went to college, so I'd say I talk to him the most.
Where is your dream vacation?
Paris, for sure. Anyone that knows me knows it's Paris.
What item do you use each day other than your phone?
My laptop. That's for school, Zooms, and lines.
When did you first start learning how to act?
Well, like kindergarten, it was mainly commercials and stuff. So that was kind of my first little dip in the business. But 3rd grade was when I first got my first role in a movie. I can only imagine.
And final question, how do you define success?
Well, success to me is, well, all about failure. Honestly, it's really about just failing repeatedly and repeatedly, because every time you fail at something, you learn something, you grow some, and you grow closer to succeeding. And you have to fail to succeed. No one has ever succeeded without failing several times at it.
She is TAEGEN Burns. You can see her in The Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney Plus, airing Fridays. New episodes right now on Disney Plus. TAEGEN, thank you so much for joining us today. You did so good.
Thank you so much for having me on here.